Hello and welcome to How to Play Gin Rummy. This video will cover how to play the card game Gin Rummy with two players. The video will start with the general concepts and gameplay of Gin Rummy and then get into more of the details of the game. The video will conclude with an example round. To play Gin Rummy, you will need a standard 52 card deck. Each player is dealt 10 cards, one card at a time. The top card of the remaining deck is flipped up to create the discard pile. The objective of the game is to create runs and sets with your 10 cards. A run is 3 or more cards in a row of the same suit. A set is 3 or 4 of the same ranking cards. I have flipped up each player's cards from the deal for you to see. In an actual game, you will keep your cards hidden from the other player. The game starts with the non-dealer, in this example player 2, deciding if he wants the flipped up card. If player 2 passes, then player 1 has the option to pick up the discard. If player 1 passes, player 2 begins the game by drawing the top card of the deck. The 10 of diamonds drawn helps player 2 form a run. He keeps the 10 and discards the queen of clubs. Player 1 does not want the queen, so he will draw from the deck. The jack of hearts drawn does not help player 1, and he will discard it. Play continues back and forth as players try to create sets and runs in their hand, each turn deciding whether to take the top discard or to draw from the deck. As players begin to get more combinations of sets and runs in their hand, the end of the round begins to approach. There are two ways for a round to end. A player can knock or a player can go gin. When the value of a player's unmatched cards is 10 or less, a player can knock. When player 2 keeps the drawn 2 of clubs and discards the 9 of hearts, the value of his unmatched cards is below 10. If player 2 wanted, he could have placed the discard face down and stated he was knocking. Player 1 is then allowed to play any of his unmatched cards onto player 2's matched cards. This is known as the layoff. Just because a player's unmatched cards have a value of 10 or less does not mean he has to knock. The player can choose to continue play to better his hand. Player 2 decides to continue play to better his hand. On player 2's next turn, he draws the 2 of hearts and has no unmatched cards in his hand. This is known as going gin. Player 2 places the discard face down and announces he has gin. When a player goes gin, no card layoff occurs. When a player knocks, he scores the value of his opponent's unmatched cards minus the value of his unmatched cards. The kings, queens, and jacks are worth 10 points each. Cards 2 through 10 are worth face value. For example, a 6 is worth 6 points. Each ace is worth 1 point. In the previous round, when player 2 knocked, his unmatched cards valued 5, and player 1's unmatched cards valued 9. Player 2 is awarded 4 points. When a player goes gin to end the round, he scores the value of his opponent's unmatched cards plus gets 20 points for going gin. In the round, player 1 had unmatched cards totaling 12 points. Player 2 is awarded those 12 points plus an additional 20 points for going gin. The score after the hand is 0 to 32. An undercut occurs when a player knocks and the opponent has an equal or lesser value of unmatched cards. In this example, player 2 knocked, but player 1 was able to lay off his unmatched 2, leaving him with no unmatched cards. Player 1 is awarded the difference in unmatched cards plus 10 additional points for the undercut. To review, when a knock finishes the round, the knocker scores the difference between his opponent's unmatched cards and his unmatched cards, unless the opponent's unmatched cards have an equal or lesser value. Then the opponent scores the difference plus 10 points for the undercut. If a player goes gin, he scores the value of his opponent's unmatched cards plus 20 points. The first player to 100 points wins the game. The ace is always low. A card can only count in one combination. Combinations of 5 are acceptable. Layoffs do not occur when a player goes gin. The player that knocks does not get to lay off any unmatched cards. Cards cannot be laid off on unmatched cards to form a combination. A player can only knock when the value of his unmatched cards is 10 or less, but is not required to knock. If unmatched cards are of equal value after a knock, it is considered an undercut. If the draw deck gets to 2 cards remaining without a player knocking, the round is void and is redealt. Each player is dealt 10 cards and the top card of the remaining deck is flipped over to start the discard pile. Player 2 has the first option to take or pass on the flipped up card. Player 2 passes and the choice goes to Player 1. Player 1 will pick up the flipped up card and is able to make a run with it. Player 1 then has to discard. Player 2 then chooses to select the top card of the deck. The 10 gives Player 2 a set of 10s and he then discards. Player 1 decides to draw over taking the discarded 7 of clubs. Player 1 will keep the drawn 2 and discard a higher valued card. Players continue to take turns drawing cards and trying to improve their hands. With the 3 of hearts, Player 2 only has 1 unmatched card and could knock to end the round if he wanted to, but decides to continue playing. Player 1 makes a run with the 8 of spades and he could knock as his unmatched cards have a value less than 10. Player 1 also decides to continue playing. Player 2 draws an ace, bringing his unmatched card value to 1. Player 2 decides to knock by playing his discard face down. At this time, Player 1 will lay off any of his unmatched cards onto Player 2's matched cards. Player 1 is able to lay off his 4. At the end of the round, Player 2 is awarded the value of Player 1's unmatched cards minus the value of his unmatched cards. Player 2 leads the game 3-0. This wraps up how to play Gin Rummy. As with most games, you will get better with practice, so don't be discouraged if it takes you a few games to catch on. Thanks for watching.